Hello everybody, just decided to make another little video about the Mandela Effect. Very strange, isn't it? Because there is this whole Mandela Effect with him. I don't know how many of you are old as me, a lot of people are younger nowadays, but those that remember that he died, I remember it. I saw it on the news. I saw them say that he died, but I forgot about it, you know, and then he became president, and I just never thought anything of it. It was only when, you know, I think this whole Mandela thing started happening, and I thought, yeah, I do remember it. I know where I was. I was in my mum's house. You know, it was that long ago. And other people remember it, remember having ceremonies for him at school and stuff like that. So this whole Mandela thing is a very, very strange thing. This whole thing is just very strange, but it's made me think. I was watching a video a few months ago. I'm really annoyed now that I haven't made note of these two videos. But anyway, the video was about the fact that this person said that there is only a Mandela effect because the people are starting to wake up. If you don't wake up, there is no Mandela effect. If you wake up, it has happened. And it just sort of reminds me of this film here. It's called Millennium. It's probably out of sorts right now because it's old-fashioned. I mean, look what Cheryl lad looks like here, you know, very 80s and that, and Kristofferson, and you know, this is now a very old looking film if you watch it, but I so love the concept. What it is she's a time traveller with her people. This is her place here. She's a time traveller. What it is their world is dying. They have to smoke to survive, but their world is dying. But what it is they come back through time and they take people off of things that are going to crash, like aeroplanes. They take the people off there, and what it is they are going to die, so they're not changing anything. But they mimic the bodies, and then the plane crashes with dummies on them, and they take the people and they send them through a gate in the future because their world is dying and they're trying to change their world, but they can't change it from this past, only to changing the future. And basically she meets him differently to he meets her. He meets her as a child, and then he meets her twice as an adult, and by the third time he's in love with her. She meets him as an adult, then goes back and saves him as a child, and then meets him as an adult. And so the way that they met each other was different, and she had a different objective. And it's really strange because in one section you actually see her there, and then you see her watching herself. Anyway, because she's come back again. Anyway, my point is that what happened was they could come back and do those things and take people and send them through a gate, but they couldn't change anything. They couldn't do the butterfly effect. If they caused a butterfly effect, they caused a paradox, and then it would mean that their future didn't exist. Their future didn't exist anymore because now it had changed in the past. So what it is in this, somebody see this here. Now this is from the future, and there's nothing like that around at the time that she's visiting. But by accident, her and her crew coming to take the people have left pieces of this gun behind. Oh, just to tell everybody, the gun they have isn't to kill people, it's just to stun them so they can take them off the planes and set them into the gates into the future. These people were going to die on the aeroplanes and things. They're not changing anything, or they're saving their lives basically, or hoping to save their lives by putting them into the future. But the gun isn't to kill them, it is to stun them. But if you don't know how it worked, the person put it together and the gun had like a safety thing on it, and that is to electrocute, and the person gets a voltage and dies. So that's what happens there if you don't know how to use the gun. So that's why she was trying to retrieve them. But anyway, as I've said again, the paradox happens. He puts the gun together and then dies. So what it is he's now changed everything. The paradox has happened. So the whole of the future is changed. So basically they have to go and go through the gate and not come back. The gate is reversed. The gate looks like this, and yes, everybody is very zombified, but that's because they're sedated. Because one minute they're sitting on an aeroplane, the next minute they come along, grab them, and then put them through this gate. So they are sleeping. And that's the trailer, well, a picture of the plane. They bring the plane in and take the people off and then put it back. Anyway, my point is that they caused a paradox. Anyway, if you take into what I've just said about I know it's a film, but we now know that the films have a lot of information that actually is what's happened or going to happen or what we're in. So yeah, it just made me think that maybe what it is because there are so many other people remembering things. I was watching one again the other day about the Mandela Effect, where it was talking about the fact that other people remember other things and films. Not maybe this generation. In the 90s, children, they remember a film with Sinbad and this certain person. People remember like mending the video because it kept, people watched it so much you had to keep mending it, blah blah blah, and then the film has never existed, but people remember so much about it, but it didn't exist. But I'm just wondering, with what this other person said, basically, as we're waking up, the Mandela Effect is happening, and maybe this conscious waking up is changing the past. And this is a reason we can't get there anymore, because we're waking up. The past now is completely changed. It will keep changing the more we wake up. Anyway, I just wondered what everybody thought about that. I've actually thought, you know, if this thing is us waking up and the Mandela Effect is happening because we're waking up and now the past is changing, hopefully it means that we are going to be able to change our future with a nicer consciousness, a more loving, caring consciousness, because we're awake and understand much more about where we live. Thanks for watching.